all the things that I was scared of. I was scared that I don't know enough. I was scared that I needed to have more education. I was scared that, yeah. So instead of seeing them as a stop, I've seen them as a, okay, who can I bring into the team to fill that gap? So I now have a group of naturopaths who are amazing in their own field, because I can't be the expert in everything.
At Foundr, we're leading an educational revolution and training the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. In this series, we're talking to our own students to discover how they're building the businesses of their dreams. These are real, everyday people who have made it happen. Now, before we jump in, our lawyers have told us to tell you this. Of course, we can't guarantee you'll have the results like some of our stories we're about to share in this show. And as you know, with any business, it's a lot of hard work in addition to completing any online course. And with that said, welcome to From Zero to Foundr. Hey guys, Molly here. I'm the community manager for Foundr magazine, and welcome to the series From Zero to Foundr. Today we're going to be talking to one of our Start and Scale students, Chelsey Jean, who is the CEO and founder of Lymphatics and Naturopathy. This is a very exciting conversation. We're going to be talking about everything e-commerce and her business, and let's jump right into it. So once again, thank you so much, Chelsey, for joining me today and sharing your story and your successes with everyone that will be listening to this today. I guess we can just start. Why not introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your business to begin?
Okay, so my name's Chelsey. I am a naturopath. I'm a sports therapist. I've been working on women's bodies since I was 19, so a little over 20 years ago. And I discovered that the way people were doing lymphatic health was different to the results and the things that I was doing in my clinic. And then that business grew. So I haven't really worked for anybody else. I've only worked for myself since I was 19. And then I think I discovered a gap in the market, but I also needed to have some guts, some guts. And I had some backing and from people to say, you can do this. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to create my own sequence, and then I need my own range of products, because at the end of the day, I want to reach a lot of people. I want to change lives, and I want people to be able to do things at home and not just with me in clinic. So there was a couple of times when I'm like, nah, this is too hard. But I think the feedback that you get from women and the messages that come daily, now hourly, to me has made it so worth it. Like, I'm a single mum. My son is 14, so we've done this together. We've grown. I knew that growing up, I had to concentrate on mum, but now that he's hit 13, 14, I know that I've put all the work in. He now has, it's now time for him to spread his wings a little bit, and I am, running hard with the business. So nobody really knows about lymphatic health. I know that you're excited to see what the products can do and the sequence and how it can work for you. It's not something that we know about.
Exactly, and I couldn't agree with you more. I know I've only heard bits and pieces about it myself, but would you like to tell me a bit how you came into the field of lymphatic health and what really inspired you to kind of pursue a career in it?
Yeah. So my first business was a ladies' figure toning salon, and you would hop onto these machines, and one would move your legs like this, and the other one would jiggle under your bottom, and you would move your body in different ways, different to what people were doing at a gym. And then I incorporated that into my massage. So my massage is different to where I do a lot of wiggling and jiggling the body. My clients were losing weight. My client, their gut was getting so much better, that they were so much happier, their emotions, their feelings. Just the results that I was getting in my clinic was mind-blowing. It's like, what am I doing? And then I researched it, and it came up, oh, I'm doing lymphatic health. But then if you look into the traditional lymphatic health, it is this really soft touch brush. And I'm like, geez, that's not what I'm doing. And then it took some guts to go, you know what, my way works. And I've met up with a couple of American specialists in lymphatic health, and they're doing the same thing as me. And I'm like, yes. So yeah, I just found that using the lymphatic system to detoxify, like we have so much lymph in our body, it is the septic system. It moves fat. It's where our immune system lives, and it doesn't have a pump. So we don't breathe enough. We don't exercise enough. We eat crap. We inhale crap. And this massive lymphatic system, this 15 litres of lymph, has to transport around, and it has to detoxify as well as transports fats and our hormones too. And yeah, it really has to work hard without a lot of support from us, you know. And if I can come up with a 2-minute routine that everybody can do at home, just like Tarzan, you know, beating the chest, how they do the haka, you know, just, and we come up, we turn in light bulbs, we pop the cork. I have in my group, we nearly have 5,000 women in my boob camp group. So I decided to make a group called Boob Camp, because what Greta talks about in her group in the Start and Scale is to create your community and really listen to what your community wants. And that was one way that I can stay really connected to my group. And like some of the things that they come up with and they talk to me about, like I didn't even realize that my face biotics cream, one of the ladies put it through her hair. And she's like, oh my God, Chelsey, like I love it just as in my hair. And then a lady posted yesterday how her eyebrows are growing back. Like, to have this community and to be able to not wait on an email or send out a form that says, oh, what are you finding about the products, but to have this community where people can contact and interact and ask questions, I think that has been a massive success of the business too. Yeah, so creating that community with women, teaching them lymphatic health. Like I get in my undies and I'm in my bathroom and I'm showing like examples on how to do this, because it can take 2 minutes, using my gloves, using my creams, and the possibilities are endless. And it's so exciting. It's overwhelming, how fast this is growing and the changes, you know, that I'm hearing every day. But yeah, I really wanted to find a way to reach everybody.
It sounds amazing. And like when you're mentioning about your community, I would love to kind of take it back a bit. You said that you had a clinic when you first opened up. Is that how you first kind of, you know, had the interaction with women and started building that community? Talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I started with my clinic, and then I expanded that into a full-blown day spa where I had 40 clients a day coming into the clinic, and I had staff and we did beauty. I was the first person in Brisbane to put in a Vichy shower where you have the jets of water, and I had a day spa. And then from there I became a naturopath, because I wanted to work on the inside as well as the outside. And then from there, it just built. I'm seeing people now who were clients of mine 20, 30, nearly 30 years ago coming and saying, oh, Chelsey, you know, remember we had those machines? And so, yeah, it's been a long time of building to get to, it's been a lot of hard work to get to where we are now. So much support. I haven't come up against a lot of roadblocks. There hasn't really been too much. All the things that I was scared of, I was scared that I don't know enough. I was scared that I needed to have more education. I was scared that, so instead of seeing them as a stop, I've seen them as okay, who can I bring into the team to fill that gap? So I now have a group of naturopaths who are amazing in their own field, because I can't be the expert in everything. And I've built a team. So whenever a fear came up for me, it was like, okay, who can I bring on? And I think I have a team of 9 or 10 people in my team now. And it's growing. And I find that as soon as I find I put on somebody in a position, the workload is there and the sales just go on, and we can expand even more. So working with women, doing their lymphatic health as a sports therapist. So I've moved away from being a sports therapist now. I now have a group, my Body Wisdom group. If people want to work with me, they have to join my Body Wisdom group, which is an 8-week course. I love talking head stuff. I love getting into people's heads because as a naturopath, I need to be able to change the way people see things and think. And then, so my clinic now, I do body electrotherapy, I do the Normatec Pulse, I do a lot of lymphatic work in my clinic. But that's I've got a staff now who run my clinic, and I've just bought a warehouse. So we have got so many boxes of product going out that I've had to buy a warehouse.
Wow, that's so inspiring. That's amazing. I think it's really interesting too how you were saying, with your clinic, and I know in the past, especially 2020, it's been a really difficult year. Do you want to talk about maybe your transition from having your clinic during the last year and how you kind of got started in e-commerce?
Yes, yeah. So working in my clinic, and then COVID hit, and it was okay. You can't work on people's bodies, and I like touching people. I'm a therapist who I will put my hand on you, and I like touching, be able to feel. So for me to have to not touch was a massive thing for me, and it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because stopping or going into the poor me phase, that is not even an option. To me, it's like, okay, that's a red light. How do we make it green? And what do we do? So I saw Greta's course come up, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm buying this. I had my gloves. I started with my people in clinic. I had my little website, but nothing to the scale of what it is now. And I can tell you, Greta came with me into the bathtub. I had her on the screen, and I would be in the bath with her. She ironed with me. She came out to the farm with me. My mum had to listen to Greta, talk. So Greta came everywhere with me, and I did a lot of the steps was just a reinforcement of what I have done, but really nitty gritty and putting labels on things and putting the steps in. That has helped. Yeah, that has helped a lot. So I thought I need to now start again with some products. And that's when I thought, well, I've started with my gloves, but why not make some complementary products? So that's when I formulated my lymphatic body cream. And then I have my Magfatics, my spray, and each of them having a unique point of difference. So the MSM with the magnesium, plus being able to be like a naturopath, I can add in the herbs that I want in there, and the essential oils too. And then I decided that I wanted to make a face cream. So what was my point of difference? I wanted to have a moisturizer that had probiotics in it. So yeah, I made all of those. I made the labels. We went into action. The problems that we had was supply, because everyone is making hand sanitizer, right? So we couldn't get pumps, we couldn't get bottles. And then to purchase them from China, we had to order 50,000 at a time. And it was like, are you going to go all in? Are you doing this in a world that is just we didn't know at the time that I thought that, people might be breaking into my clinic and stealing. So I had no idea. We didn't have any idea. And then to go, rightio, well, we have to now purchase 50,000 of each thing. We have to go all in. And so we did.
Well, I can only imagine how much challenging that would be. Yeah. And I guess, talking about the manufacturing process, you mentioned, you had your USP, your unique selling point, which was adding the probiotics into the moisturizer. Talk me through more of the process of actually developing your products and, how you actually found your manufacturer and how you started your first small e-commerce and how you kind of scaled that.
Okay. So my lymphatic cream I made, one, because I've had my veins stripped out myself, and so I've gone through the personal experience of that. But this is a little bit funny. Tia, who is one of my best friends, and she's a naturopath, and she teaches the Lymphatics Alive program with me. So we have 50 people turning up next week that I teach this sequence to, other practitioners as well. So there are so many offshoots from this business. But when we talk about this story, she says, Chelsey, you can't tell the truth. You have to make up a big story. You have to say, oh, because my legs were full of varicose veins and I needed something for myself, so it took me years to formulate this product, and it didn't. I pretty much did it in a day. I sat down and I thought, you know what? If I could I think when you're connected and when you have a passion for something and you can just download and you trust, when you trust, it can happen like that. So I just wrote down the ingredients that I wanted. I sent it to my chemist, and then she said, yeah, I can make that work. And it was that easy. And so I'm lucky that my family, they have their own business as well. They have horse products called Dr. Show, and they've got marine products called Soltex. So we already have a manufacturing setup, which they have had for nearly 20 years. And I've been a slow one to join in. And so we ordered all of the products. We started off ordering, tiny little amounts of essential oils. So we would order, like 250 mils at a time. And we now order 10 litres at a time. 10 litres of frankincense. That is a lot of money.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And so little bits, and we started off with a 20-litre tub. Mm-hmm. And we weigh everything and we mixed it all in and we bottled. So it's my family. It's my son, myself, my mum and my dad who are mixing and bottling everything. So when I am mixing, I'm putting my energy into it. I love you, and I'm grateful, and all of that goes in as well. And then we put that into the bottles. We've had to do, the labels, the ordering, it is all done at the moment in-house. Wow. And we started that. We set out some samples, and the results with the face cream, I've had la-di-da ladies who use 5 different, see, I don't wear makeup. I don't do the whole process of things. I just, give me something that I can wear day, that I can wear night, that is going to be great for my skin. That's me done. And these ladies who use 5 steps, they're like, Chelsey, we're so happy. We've got your, $59 cream, 125 mil. And that now replaces the $400 of different products that I was in. I'm like, oh my God, I should have charged more.
No, that's incredible.
Yeah. And so now the process of starting small, and we started with our 20 litres at a time. We now do 1,000-litre batches at a time. Yeah, we're doing like $100,000 batches at a time. We now have, like, the forklift comes along and brings us the drums. So we can handle this level that we're at now, which is like, it's $100,000 online sales a month. I can handle that now. But now we're pushing to 200,000. It's now, we have to, upscale.
At Foundr, 99% of our content is free. Today's episode is only made possible by our incredible student community, from our magazine subscribers to the entrepreneurs enrolling in our course programs. If you are thinking of finally starting your own business, make sure to check out the exact free training that led today's guests to where they are now. Head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes. So you're thinking maybe, doing it yourself at such high volume, are you thinking maybe your next step is to hire, a dispatch team and someone to kind of put in that TLC that you've given so many times before?
Yeah. So the plan is, so what we're doing now is we've just purchased a warehouse. So we will have a distribution center where all of the products will be. And the integration now of Shopify to ShipStation to this is the part that I'm reaching out in the team, in the Start and Scale team, and asking questions. And God, I've got some great answers from there. And so now it's like, well, we did 46 runs of 1,000 litres like last year, but now I'm said to the family, I said that has to be a month, because we have that, it's getting to the point of that being a month. So to be able to step out of seeing my one-on-one clients to now seeing a group. So I've got, say, 40 people at a time I take in my 8-week program to work with me. And then to now put a manager and a naturopath into my clinic. And then now to have staff as the distribution staff. I have 5 online virtual assistants. I have the most amazing marketing professional. She does my Facebook, my email. So I've really worked a great team. And so I still want to be part of the manufacturing stage, but just maybe as overseeing, not being the one, because I fill the bottles. Right. So yeah, I fill the bottles as well, as with my family. So that is going to have to be turned over and have staff as well. I can still be there to mix it, still be there to be part of it. But now that we're looking at the overseas market as well, and the chance to, do we manufacture overseas as well as Australia? So that'll be the conversation that we have to have soon. But it's growing at a really fast rate. And I think the unique way that I have set it up with people coming into boot camp, having the support there in that group. And then it's also a great funnel, because everybody talks about their wins and what they're finding, or talks about what they're not gaining, and then other people support. So my community of Chelsey Jean soldiers in that group, so I don't even have to answer a lot of the questions, because they come out and answer them. So having that group, and then having all of the offshoots from there. And it's I need a clone. I need
If only it was that easy. I think that's amazing. I love how you keep referring back to community, because obviously Start and Scale do have an amazing online community, as you have mentioned before. Was that the inspiration of building your own community groups on Facebook? Did you want to talk a bit more about, your boob camp, as well as, your other Facebook channels and marketing channels that you use?
Yeah, sure. So boot camp started because I got my gloves, and I was so excited. And every day I'm showing people, and I'm doing all of the demonstrations. And then 3 days in, runny nose, headaches, feeling lousy, sore throat, like all of the detoxification feelings. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a naturopath. I'm quite healthy. And here I am having all of these detoxification effects. What happens to somebody who isn't as healthy as me? They're going to feel like crap. Like, I'm going to make them feel like crap. So I need to have an area where we can all feel like crap together, And so that's why I thought, well, let's create this community of boob camp. And then I was like, okay, so people add into that group, and then I have other practitioners into that group. As I said, I teach other practitioners, massage therapists, personal trainers. I teach them online as well as in clinic. So in the room, like I have 50 people turning up to this course next week.
Wow.
And it's I charge $295 for someone to turn up, and if I have 50 people in person, another 50 people online, it's a pretty good gig.
Definitely, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. And then those crackies, they learn the sequence, they learn a lot of education behind the lymphatic system, which we don't get taught. No, we don't get taught. Doctors do not get taught anything about the lymphatic system. So if I can, and then they all buy as wholesalers from me, so because I wholesale my product to them, and then they retail in their own space as well. So they're all adding into my bootcamp community as well. And then they get, if somebody in there says, hey, I'm looking for a practitioner here, we've got all of those, they can go, hey, yeah, I'm a practitioner, or here's the link. So it's also helping others build their business too, the bootcamp group. And yeah, so we've got the boot camp, we've got the training, all of my different programs that I run. I give free ebooks, but boot camp is 3 days. So once a month, I go live on a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Wednesday night. The first night I talk about education and why the lymphatic system is so important. The second night is all action, where we all get our gloves and move, and I talk through the products. And then the third night is what else can you do? So that boot camp lives, I now get 140, 150 people join me live.
Wow, it's really impressive.
Live. Yeah, live in the group when I do that. And then when people join the group, they get tagged to watch those videos. So they can watch that at any time. All of that information is free. Even if you don't have the gloves, you can use your hands. Mm-hmm. So people can have all of that information completely free in the group. So if I can give that, I really like to be able to give to everybody who they might not have the money to buy the product, at least they can start. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side is, if people want to work with me as their coach and as their naturopath, well, then they can do the programs.
Beautiful. Yeah. Sounds exciting. It sounds very exciting. I love how hands-on you are with your community. And I guess bringing it back to the Start and Scale course and how that's actually, helped your business grow and succeed. You've mentioned you have a few products. Talk to me about how the actual process of signing up to Start and Scale has significantly impacted your business.
Oh, yes. I think just to give me the guts to go ahead. And to see, when I read a post in Start and Scale that a lady was spending $1,000 a day on Facebook ads, my mind was blown. I'm like, oh my God, do people actually do this? And now, like, I'm spending $500 a day on Facebook ads and ready to do it. My goal was maybe 3 years that I would spend, that it would take me to get to $1,000 a day Facebook ads. Well, I'm ready to go. Like, my team, we just need to get into the warehouse, and the return of 6.73 is what I'm working on, is per dollar is working. So just the encouragement in that group, and to see that there is actually a formula. So when Greta talks through the steps, it's like, you know what, this works. This is the steps that you need to do. And there's no real cutting corners. And I love the terminology that she uses. And just I really look up to her, and to have the guts to do what she did with the 5th, and to say, like, it's only going to release it for 5 days. Like, that takes guts. Yeah. And with this Skinny Me tea, so all of that has really inspired. We've even got goosebumps now. Has really inspired me to go, you know what, you can do this. When you are that focused and you're passionate about it, that's what matters. And put the energy into it, make it something different, make it yours, and then follow that steps. Like, all of the material that are in there, now that I'm using Shopify, I had no idea of all of these words. Shopify, ClickFunnels, Zaps, it's been a whole new dictionary of words that I've learned. And so the course is definitely working through the modules. I think has been a little bit because I just want to get to the end and tell, like, I want to click on that one. Yeah. But because I'm 100% girl, when I do the quizzes, I have to get them all. If you check my quizzes, I've got 100%.
Cheering you on. I love that.
Yeah. So to do those, I'm like, no, I'm listening, because I want to get 100% on the quizzes. So there is so much information there, and cheat sheets on, like, okay, I can go straight to it. And if I ask, in that group, if you ask a question, you're going to get such a broad range, and such great support from the other entrepreneurs who are in there. And it's great that they give up their time to answer the questions too. Mm-hmm. And then when Greta does her like hour-long recordings, and lessons, like that is so valuable.
I agree. I think the Start and Scale Facebook group is amazing, and all the questions that get asked there only inspire and help so many other businesses within that group and entrepreneurs. And I guess, in terms of after you've implemented what you have learned in this course, like how are you going? How's your business? What's your turnover? Like how is it? Tell me everything.
Yeah, okay. So last year, I think we hit, so during COVID, I think we hit around $880,000 for the year. Wow. In sale. Mm-hmm. During a COVID year and during my clinic being, closed for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. So that was super. And now, like for me, I was looking at doing, a $20,000 month was just like amazing. And then it's 30 and then it's 40. And last month I looked at the Shopify, having the Shopify app on your phone and listening to it go ding, like ching, every time it does a sale, that is the best thing. It ching, it's like, oh yes, we've got a sale. So now I think, Black Friday, I think we did $45,000 in that one wow. 3 days in that time. And then last month, our online sales hit just over $100,000 for online sales. No. So that doesn't include clinic. And so altogether, I think last month our sales was $180,000. And because I manufacture my products myself, so my profit is probably higher than a lot of people because I don't outsource much at all. So it's my parents, they've spent 15, 20 years with their businesses and they've done the trade shows and they've been out there and they've done it the other way. I've done mine for 6 months now and I'm doing the same sales as them.
That's incredible.
Having a team, and having somebody to set up a click funnel and a landing page and all of those things for you, I think it's really important to so all of the steps in the Start and Scale that Greta talks about is having your wait list, so your emails. I pay $4,500 or something now a year for Active Campaign for my email program because we've got 5,000 or something or other on my email list. Wow. And having my Instagram might be, that's what I need to work on because it's all organically grown. But my email list is super. So it was really good hearing Greta because in the group, everyone talks about Instagram. Let's build Instagram. But when you listen to Greta talk, she's like, no, your email list is really focused on your email list for launch. And I know that when an email gets sent out and then the know your numbers comes back and it says, okay, well, you've just made like $7,000 from sending out that email to in sales. So know your numbers, have a great team around you and learn all of those words because time management and your time, I really think it's important that I think time is the most important commodity. Like you can't get it back. So really think about, am I doing something that I love? Am I spending the time with people that I want to be? Why am I doing this? So if your why is I can reach so many more people, I can get up on stage. So that's my goal is to get up on stage and start inspiring, start like doing the demonstrations, getting on TV. So that is my next step that I would really love to do because my why is to reach so many different families and women to show them that this is something that they can do at home for themselves that is going to impact every part of their life. So coming back to that why, then everything else in the background, I think, just happens.
Yeah, of course. I agree. And you have to have passion. Like you've mentioned before, a business without passion, you have to have your soul in it if it's going to be something that you're going to dedicate your life to. And I think that's super inspiring. And I love how you've really taken Greta's teachings and really implemented it into your e-commerce store, especially coming from, a brick and mortar store beforehand, or a one-to-one and now one-to-many, I think is very, very inspiring. So, you mentioned what's next physically, but what's next for e-commerce for you?
Yeah, so we are setting up ManyChat. So the ManyChat and with the Shopify people to be able to ask questions in the Shopify. So that's coming. I'm putting everything now through into Shopify. So all of my ClickFunnels and everything now have to, because all of the different payment gateways, my accountant and my bookkeeper, oh my God. So when you have so many different things, so now it's about streamlining. So everything is available on Shopify. Then that goes to my ShipStation, and then that goes to my my MYOB. So now changing everything so it runs smoothly, so we can still collect information, but keeping an eye on stock and knowing stock numbers. That because by the time I order product, and then some of my creams for my face, they come from France. So for my face biotics, so it's knowing my numbers and to be able to go, okay, well in 3 months time, I forecast our sales to be this, and so knowing that with Shopify, putting everything in. I've got 2 new products that I'm up my sleeve that I want to bring out soon, to add to the and just what the little things, like this is my little cute little swag bag, we call it. But Greta talks about putting the thank you notes and things, just offering those personal touches, but trying to keep up to date with all of the latest offerings that Shopify, and integrations. That I think the integration. So I'm just paid a company to hook up all of the integrations to the accounting, from the sales, printing out the labels and so if I'm now putting on staff at the warehouse to follow all of the procedures, that to remove myself out of it, so I'm not the one packing boxes. So I think integration and simplify the processes as much as we can with Shopify. But the best thing with the Shopify is to be able to ding, like it goes ding, and it's like, yes, I've made a sale. Ching.
It's definitely a good dose of endorphins, isn't it, when you hear that little chime? But I think it's amazing. It sounds like you have some really incredible things coming up for 2021 and even beyond that, which I'm very excited to see all over the Start and Scale Facebook group, I am sure. But I guess working towards wrapping things up, how is your life now compared to, what it was before, since actually growing your e-commerce store?
So I think now that I really am solid. Like I was like, oh, maybe what about this or what about that, and it being flighty and having to ask people's opinions a lot about things. I think now it's reading other people's, where their businesses have got to in Start and Scale, and instead of being the person to go, oh, they spend $1,000, a day on ads. Oh my God, I'll never get there. I love it because it's like, I want to do that. That is awesome. So my goal this year is to spend $1,000 a day on Facebook ads. And because I saw it in the group, and that's inspired me. And it's like, yes, I want to do that. So moving forward is just, keep on watching the people who are in front of me, and to go, that is, and connect, I think, more with those people, and to see what is available, to do. I think, moving forward. So I think what has changed is I found my tiara again, right? So I think even though I love being in the trenches, I found my tiara, and to be able to go, you know what, no, let's do this. And I find myself, the 4 different modes that we talk about when you're in wild mode, or then when you're in, your down mode or your bear mode or whatever. When I'm in wild mode, I get to be in that more. It's like, yes, let's do this and let's do that. So I think I get to be myself, my crazy, creative self more. So I think it's given me the freedom, so because, my goals and my values, I have them written, I write everything on, all of everything I write. I take these with me everywhere, like my plans. This one's a little bit tattered because I take it with me everywhere. So, freedom, authenticity, motivation, and transformation. It allows me to be those and be an example of those things. Because if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to live it. I'm going to be the example of it. And if I can be the example of it to my other natural health practitioners and to other business people or to other single mums as well who do everything, I still do everything. Like a day in the life of Chelsey is still waking up at 5:30, pressing play, listening to a motivational podcast, and then doing all of the things, working the clinic, like doing all the million, things, and then working on the business, and then, going to bed at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. You do it. I love it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Really, really inspiring stuff. And I know so many people that will be listening to this will take so much of your advice on board. And I think you're going to be such an inspiration to those who may be in the same sort of position as you have been, where they're in jeopardy because of COVID and they just want to push themselves a little bit more. So honestly, I really thank you so much for taking the time and speaking to me today, and everyone else that's listening to this recording, because I know for a fact you've done some amazing things and you will continue to do more. But before we wrap up, is there any last words of advice or wisdom you want to share?
If you can just really ask your why, like, why am I doing this? Where do I want to be? And what happens if I don't do it? Because you have to live with you. You've got to live with yourself. You get one life. And are you going to be happy if you don't take the plunge? So, and you've got to live with that. So, yeah, ask what your why is. Get some guts and just, really go for it. Yeah, that's my advice.
Well, thank you so much, Chelsey. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today, and I'm sure I'll speak with you again soon.
Thanks, Mol. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hey guys, we hope you're loving From Zero to Foundr and you're getting a ton of value from it. If you want access to the exact free training that led today's founder to where they are now, head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes.